Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, traders, to my backtesting series of 2024. We are nearing the end. This is going to be the week of October 28th to the 1st. Now, here's one of the situations where it's the last week of October, but the Friday is the very first Friday of the month. So I suspect this is going to be one of those times where we don't have non-farm payroll on the very first of the month, but we may have the second Friday of the month as non-farm payroll. So, going to keep in mind that Friday is the first, but I'm going to go ahead and trade like it's a normal week. And perhaps maybe next month I may try and trade that as a normal week. Also, just be wary of Thursday and Friday. So anyways, right now is set for the 25th. And looking at the daily chart here, so we are in this long, prolonged consolidation. Price action is not very exciting. You don't really want to be pushing too hard in this kind of condition, as opposed to like right here where we're going up a lot. You could go long and most likely make out. Once we are here though, with the wicks going up and down all the time, like if you go long or short, you could get stopped out. Anyways, my point being is we don't really want to be trading until we kind of break out of this consolidation range. And if you look at the higher time frame PD arrays, you have this weekly BISI, you have this weekly SIBI. So both of these fair value gaps, we've consolidated in it, and now we've went above it. Even though we wick down there a day or whatever, we're still kind of respecting this weekly SIBI. So I'm thinking if we do break out of this consolidation, I'm betting we're going to break out to the upside. So going into this week, I still think it's going to be a good idea to try and be more long than short. Not saying you can't trade short, but definitely want to be more long than short for that eventual breakout. I think it makes more sense for us to break out to the upside than to the downside. Now, to the downside, there is like this kind of like consolidation here, but I don't want to see price go down below this weekly SIBI. I really want to see it used as support going into next week. So with that long preamble out of the way, let's go ahead and go down to the 1 hour and jump into next week, Monday, October the 28th. All right, so Monday morning, 8 o'clock. You can see that pretty much Sunday and Monday consolidation here. But we do have this pretty big new week opening gap and this fair value gap right here. We did dip down into it on this 1 hour candle. I believe this is the 8 o'clock candle. And we could go down deeper into it, but I'm looking for displacement to the upside. I don't really see any obvious sell side targets to go for on the 1 hour. Let's go down to the 15-minute. And you can see that we've taken out buy side 1, 2, 3, whatever. We have a bunch of buy side sweeps here. Now we do have these flat lows that did get taken, and we did go back down into this 1 hour fair value gap. It could be enough. I'm expecting more of a deeper dig into here, and then we start going up higher. But being Monday, we may just go down here. Maybe shorts will be good. Maybe no trading today either. So just gonna see what happens at 8:30 and 9:30 before making any rash decisions. All right, so 8:30 we did start. We did create this fair value gap, and at 8:30 we did use it to bounce price up. We do have a confirmation fair value gap here, and we do have a change of state delivery trading above these down candles. So perhaps we can try for a long here, but I really don't trust this little poke into that 1 hour fair value gap. I think 9:30 we can definitely go down below it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit more time. I don't know if we can find support here. Perhaps that could be a trade long. Maybe we'll get it here, and maybe I'm just gonna go ahead and miss it. So yeah, I guess you could try for this one as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and wait for 9:30. Last week I did take a lot of loss. Well, I guess I just took one loss and the other was break even, but not a lot of the trades work out. And like I said, 9:30 we could come down for this low. We did go down for this low. We could even go deeper, right? Maybe down to 50% of this fair value gap. So, but I'm still want to be long biased. Just gonna wait until we can see a displacement to the upside. So I'm looking for a reversal somewhere. The first fair value gap, maybe I want to take it, maybe not. Probably not because well, probably because we could dig down deeper today, and it is a Monday. I'm thinking with all this choppiness after this, like, big drop down into the fair value gap at 9:30. I'm not really excited to take any trades. I think we could take out the sell side one more time, create a relative equal lows, and yeah, usually I don't run through the morning action this quickly, but I don't really think there's much going on. I don't think it's going to be a good trading day for me. And here we go. My trading window is done. So let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day and go to the next day. So, yeah, more consolidation in this fair value gap, but you can see the action is very, very, very choppy. Even this right here, I did not really see a good opportunity to get in. Perhaps you can try for this if you were really risky. I don't know. I mean, this little poke here, I just didn't trust it. I thought we could go down deeper into this fair value gap. Remember, this also includes the new week opening gap, so I'm thinking price was drawing to that. But anyways, that's how it was. No trade, no losses. So going into the next day and taking a look at that 1 hour, we did go down below this low. So we took out the sell side below this low. I'm going to go ahead and give it a dotted line just to remind us that we did take that sell side. Short-term buy side is here. No inefficiencies here. So if we do go higher, we could be going for the buy side up here. And of course, we do have buy side up there. So these are going to be the buy side targets that I'm looking for. This one's pretty much just a market structure shift. These are going to be my primary targets. I don't really see any inefficiency out here. So it doesn't really make sense for us to go much lower. We could sweep this low, like, one more time, like one more sell side sweep. But other than that, I don't really want to see price go down and much lower. So let's go ahead and drop down to a 5-minute and walk it through today. All right, so just before 9:30, and so far you can see very, very tight consolidation. And like I said in the last video, it's an election year, and going down to the end of October, the election should be going on right now, and I think we'll get the result. I forgot when we'll get the results, like November 5th or something. So next week looks like we could be getting election results. So I would expect today to be very, very choppy. Let's say this day, I will expect this week to be very, very choppy. Perhaps no trading today either, but we'll see at 9:30. We get another sweep of the sell side, and I'm looking for a reversal. Remember, I want to be long bias. I think if we break out, likely to break out to the upside. So here we go, getting kind of a reversal. There's a big fair value gap here potentially. This candle's not done forming, but potentially we get a big fair value gap. I think the risk would be too high, right? 442 to, I mean, I guess it's okay. It's about 40 points of risk, 45 points of risk. I want to see confirmation though. See, yeah, that fair value gap did not even stay intact. We definitely closed it in. So right now, it looks like we're going to be heading for the upside. I just want to get a good fair value gap to get in. I mean, you have this one right here. Not a fair value gap, but volume imbalances. You could try enter on those if that's your thing. But it looks like we're going to take the buy side without giving me a fair value gap. So like I said, this one is going to be kind of like a market structure shift. Remember, if we go back up to the 15-minute market structure shift right here, we swept the sell side. All the sell side got swept. And now we're seeing displays to the upside. These are going to be my primary targets now. So looking here, I have a big fair value gap. This will be my stop loss if I were to go in. And currently right now, right here at 585, that's 65 points of risk. So way too much. But like it if we can come down for a little bit of retracement, maybe give us a secondary confirmation fair value gap. And you know what? We didn't even get a fair value gap. Shows you how very, very choppy we are today. I think I'm not going to be entering in anything unless it's a confirmation fair value gap. So far, this was the only fair value gap, and that was still before 9:30. So after 9:30, there's no fair value gap on the 5-minute time frame. We're getting close to lunch. It's already 11:15, and so far no fair value gap. So Very, very choppy day. I'm thinking nothing to do today. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into the end of the morning, and let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day. So, do you guys enjoy me going through everything without like pausing every now and then? Now I do that to kill dead space and not make the video too long, but kind of running through it pretty quick today. And if you enjoyed this kind of style, let me know in the comments. I may do it more often, even if it becomes like longer. Okay, so we did go and hit my primary targets, right? These relative equal highs here. Unfortunately, there was not really a good setup in the morning. Lunchtime here, yeah, you can probably try to enter here, but you can see a lot of consolidation. If you enter right here on, I guess, 1 o'clock, you still have to wait until 2 o'clock before we actually start running away. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really to do. Like I said, potentially this could be a non-farm payroll week because the Friday is the very first Friday on November. But sometimes when that happens, like I said, NFP gets pushed out 1 week. So here we are on the 1 hour. We do have this big rally, but hard to see much like inefficiency except for this one right here. I wonder if I could just go ahead and move it. Maybe that'll be okay. We'll move it like this. But yeah, nothing really here. So let's go ahead and drop down to a 15-minute. We did get really close to the buy side. So I'm expecting the buy side to get taken. That will be my first target. And this one down here, we did sweep this swing low just by a little bit, just by a few ticks. And yeah, let's go ahead and go down to the 5-minute and walk it through today. Of course, we do have a short-term buy side target there. All right, so we consolidated for a while, and then 8:30 we did dive down a little bit lower, going back up to a higher time frame. We're kind of coming down, and I'm going to duplicate this. We do have this 1 hour fair value gap here. So we touch that. That could be enough. It lines up with this consolidation level, right? You can see how consolidation level lines up with this fair value gap, and it lines up with this touch. So that could be enough to send us going upward. No fair value gaps right now, so just going to have to wait a little bit longer. All right, so at 9:30, we did go down even lower. We went through this fair value gap and removed it. Remember, this one right here was the very first one that I talked about. This one, it was the larger fair value gap. So I think this is definitely going to be the last line of defense. If we're going to be bullish, this is it. We're going to be turning around from here. If we go through it though, then not going to be bullish anymore. The bullish idea will be done. Of course, relative equal highs is going to be the primary target. We got a higher target, and then sure we got higher targets. But first of all, we got to see a fair value gap. Boom, we got it. We can go ahead and even take this. So I'm going to go ahead and try for this one contract, and I'm going to keep a tighter stop loss here at the low of this order block. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Let's see what the risk is going to be. So 550. Going to be about 50 points. It's going to be about 50 points. So going to take a shot at this with one contract. All right, it is running away from me now. I do like seeing this, down move and now this up move. We have a change in the state delivery here. So, I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but I know some traders, they will take this here as a change in the state delivery trade. But I want to see price come down into some of this inefficiency. It doesn't have to, I guess, because, because it could be a very strong day, right? So don't really want to take it here because if I do, I got to plan for price to at least not go through all these fair value gaps. And this would be 60 points of risk. I want to see a confirmation fair value gap here. So yeah, just going to walk it through a little bit longer. Hopefully we get a little bit of retracement and then get a confirmation fair value gap to enter in on. If we don't, I'll go ahead and I'll maybe enter into the next fair value gap I see above this consolidation. All right, great. We went back into this inefficiency here. I like how we went to the second one and if we start going above all these up candles, creating a fair value gap, definitely going to enter into the very next one. Although it could pull back down to the lower fair value gap here, like it did. And here we go. Our first fair value gap. I do also like a sweep of this low into this. And now we went up, changed the state delivery. So this definitely could be a change of state delivery trade. But I'm going to go with my model, which is the fair value gaps. So this will be my entry. And my stop loss will be down here. I guess it could be here, right? This would be the 615. This is 608. So about 7-point difference here. This is going to be a little bit less than 40 points of risk. I feel like this is really going to work out though. I mean, like, I'm almost willing to like over risk this here. Like 1 sec. All right. So as you can see, if I take one contract, I'll have about a 0.6% risk. Two contracts will give me about 1.2% risk. So I'm kind of willing to over risk this here. I know it should be sticking with 1% risk, but this kind of feels really good, man. We had this big down move into a higher time frame, a 1 hour fair value gap, reversed it completely. So changed this to delivery on here, right here. We came back down into these inefficiencies, created a lower low. Here we have another change in state delivery. I just really feel like this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and try for two contracts here. Looking for my first partial here. And we'll see if this fair value gap remains intact and whether or not we can get in. It is kind of close to the end of my time window though, but let's go ahead and still shoot for it. May even take, because it's kind of close to 12:30 or my time window, as long as it doesn't go down lower, we could just take a first partial here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my first contract off here that way and then move to break even. That way I will be green no matter what. Only about 30 minutes left. We'll see if we can make a run for those highs. But I don't like this consolidation. It's, you know, it's spending a little bit too much time here. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. We did dip down to this fair value gap. I don't want to see it again. I do not want to see it go down again. So what I'm going to do is this down candle. I'm going to, or I'm just going to put it right here. This is my stop loss now. Put my stop loss to break even. And this is purely based on the time, right? It's 12:06. Normally I wouldn't do this. In fact, if you want to, you could maybe move your stop loss down here, right? That would be better. But I don't want to take a loss on this. Gonna go ahead and set it to break even. Still gonna take my first partial here. See if we can make a run, but only a little bit time left. And boom, got stopped out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end of day before I record this. I just want to see whether or not if you move your... Okay, yeah, so completely didn't work out. Like I said, I didn't like this consolidation up here. And with the time, we're getting to 12 o'clock. So I went ahead and just moved it to break even. And I mean, I guess that was a good decision because it shouldn't really come down here. I was really expecting price to move up very quickly. Instead, we got a new low of day, closing here close to 3 o'clock. So let's go ahead and record it. Two contracts, and I got stopped out at 2650.75. So pretty much break even, but at least we didn't take a full R loss. And yeah, let's go ahead and go to the next day. So considering, you know, we could potentially be non-farm payroll Thursday today, going to be very cautious. Not going to go over one contract. All right, guys. So Thursday morning, 8 o'clock. Once again, this is a 4-hour chart. Got really close to our buy side target, but as you can see, we dipped down below all this up move, went down below this 1 hour fair value gap, took the sell side, went back to this weekly SIBI. So many times it's touched this weekly SIBI. So going into the 1 hour, really don't know what to think. You know, how the price action played out this week, like Monday here, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the setups on each morning session was not that great. It really makes me feel like it is a non-farm payroll week. Or it could just be because it's the week before the elections. So anyways, probably not going to trade today. We'll walk it through and see if we can see anything, but I don't really know. It's really unclear. And when it's unclear, better to not touch. All right, so just before 9:30, we got relative equal lows here during the London close. For sell side, if we zoom out a little bit, oh, sorry, so the sell side was down here. Buy side would be this high here. Above it, not sure. So these are going to be the two liquidity pools that I'm going to be playing with today. Not really going to be going beyond these. And we took out the sell side first, which is ideal for me actually, because I am long-term bullish. So I want the sell side to get swept first. Now I want to start seeing a reversal. I don't really want to see price dig into this weekly CIBI too much. So let's go ahead and just walk it through. Hopefully we get some sort of a reversal, and we'll zoom in a little bit closer to price action here. And yeah, I'll let you guys know if I see anything. I'm not interested in chasing this any lower. All right, guys. So after we've traded through that weekly CIBI, just a gradual decrease down into this weekly BISI. And like I said, I wasn't interested in trading it down any lower. Maybe there was some opportunities, but the risk to reward was not that great. So either way, you know, I'm okay. Now that we're down below this weekly CIBI, I don't know what to think. We still have the rest of the day though. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the day. Really does feel like non-farm payroll week. So yeah, pretty much just consolidation. Now we are again consolidating between these two higher time frame PD arrays. So let's go into Friday, and we'll see at 8:30 very soon here whether or not we're going to have like a big like NFP spike. So 1 hour chart still consolidating here. I don't really see anything, honestly. I really don't know what's going on. The only thing I guess is I'm going to pay attention to this 1 hour CIBI. So this 1 hour CIBI, we could trade into it, use it to push down price even lower, or if we trade above it, which is what I'm thinking, then we'll use it as support. But until we get either one of those scenarios, I don't really want to be doing much here. So just going to wait. And of course, we do have the sell side down below this low right here, I believe. I think I zoomed in a little too close here. Yeah, no, that is close, but not exact. I want it down at this low because you can see the flatness here. We have sell side. And now that I'm noticing, we do have flatness up here on the buy side as well. Very difficult trading conditions. But let's go ahead and move to 8:30, see where we're going here. It looks like we're going to the upside. We did get a sweep of these lows. See whether or not this can be confirmation or not. But already took the short-term buy side. But like I said, I'm not really interested until we start going above this CIBI to be very bullish. Could go for a scalp into that CIBI though, but no fair value gaps as of yet. I'm gonna wait till 9:30. All right, so very choppy. Price couldn't take out this low. Okay, so keep that in mind. We couldn't take out this low, and we reversed this entire pre-market move, creating potentially our first fair value gap here. I don't want to take the very first one, but if we get a confirmation fair value gap, I'll consider taking that one. Looking for price to go into that 1 hour CIBI. And, you know, I think today could be non-farm payroll Friday. So I'm not going to go for more than one contract. There is a chance that we come down and use a CIBI as inversion to go for these relatively equal lows. That's why I want to wait for confirmation and not really go in on the very first fair value gap. Okay, so we do get a rally back up and we're in that 1 hour CIBI. Now the question is, are we going to start reversing for these relative equal lows? You know, as long as we remain in the lower half of it, that is always a potential. Potentially, I'm also looking for a fair value gap here. If we get confirmation, maybe we can run through this fair value gap. But being a Friday, I'm not really betting on any really big moves. All right, so far so good. It does look like we're using the 1 hour fair value gap as a what am I trying to say? We're using the 1 hour fair value gap to push the price down for these relative equal lows. I think a short is a potential here, but this fair value gap, I don't want to take it right away. we're coming back down into this fair value gap. So still, it's a little iffy on whether or not we're going to go up or we're going to just pull back and go. I'm sorry, if we're pulling back to go up higher, or if we're going to start reversing with this CB to go lower. So I want to see a confirmation fair value gap if we're going to go lower. If we're going to go higher, I want to see price go through this CB, use it as inversion. And it's going to be 11 o'clock, so still got about an hour left. So here we do go above this fair value gap. I'm going to highlight it, and I don't know what color I should give it, but I want to give it a nice color so we can note that it could be used as inversion. All right, so I think this pink makes it stand out. You can see that we did close above it. We are currently trading in it. Now, if we get a fair value gap, and also you can see there's a 5-minute fair value gap here. So we could, you know, on a higher time frame, I was looking to be bullish anyways. I guess we could try and take a trade here. So if I would have tried for it, it would have been this entry at 221. I should have my risk down here at 173. I could have it here a little bit riskier, but it's below this order block. So this right here would be about 30 points of risk. Let's go ahead and try it just for one contract. And I'm going to aggressively move it. So as long as it goes above this high, I'll move it to break even. So let's go ahead and see if this works out. Okay, great. This is exactly what I like seeing. I think with this is, even though it didn't go above here, I think this is good enough for me to just go ahead and move my stop to break even below this. I'm expecting this to be an order block in the near future. So my stop loss here, break even. I'm definitely not taking a loss on this. On a Friday, don't want to see it. We came back down into this order block and we wicked into this fair value gap. But as you can see, my stop loss has not been triggered. I'm looking for another push up here. Okay, it did go above this high. I think with this push, I can go ahead and move my stop to the low of this candle when it wicked down here. Still just 9 points above my entry. And we'll give it until 12 o'clock, see what happens here. We may get stopped out, and that's okay. I don't really want to be taking a look. If I took it off up here, that's actually a pretty nice trade, right? I mean, that was like 56 points. Yeah, not bad. I mean, I guess I could have just taken it off up there, right? Realizing that we are in a 1 hour CB. But I don't know. I guess I just kind of like, walk through it a little too quickly or something. Yeah, but oh well. Let's go ahead and record this trade and we'll move on to, we'll take a look at the end of the day, and I guess that is it for this week. So November 1st, was today non-farm payroll Friday? I don't know, maybe, so next week I'm going to try and keep in mind that we could potentially have non-farm payroll next week as well. So anyways, that's going to be it for this time. Thank you guys for joining me. Very small trades, looking for a nice win. Haven't had that in a while. Last time was all the way back on October 10th, so 3 weeks ago. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. We are getting very close to the end of 2024. Only 8 weeks left. And yeah, until I see you next time, safe trading. Don't forget, next week is election week, so safe trading.